My name is Grover Harris, and I am doing this speech taken from Stevie Wonder's lyrics, Black Man. And this is my dedication to Martin Luther King's birthday. The first man to die for the flag we now hold high is Christopher Attucks, a black man. The ground where we stand with the flag held in our hand was first the red man's. The guide of a ship on the first Columbus trip was by Alonzo Nino, a brown man. The railroads for trains came on tracking that was laid was by a yellow man. Yes, we pledge our allegiance all our lives to the magic colors, red, blue, and white. But we all must be given the liberty that we defend, for with justice not for all men, history will repeat again. It's time we learn this world was made for all men. Heart surgery was first done successfully by Daniel Williams, a black man. Friendly man who died but helped the pilgrims to survive was by Squanto, a red man. Farm workers' rights were lifted to new heights by Chavez, a brown man. Incandescent light was invented to give sight by Thomas Edison, a white man. Now I know the birthday of a nation is a time when a country celebrates, but as your hand touches your heart, remember we all played a part in America to help that banner wave. The first clock to be made in America was created by a black man, Benjamin Banneker. Scout who used no chart, helped lead Lewis and Clark, was a red man. Use of martial arts in our country got its start by a yellow man. And the leader with a pen signed his name to free all men was a white man, Abraham Lincoln. This world was made for all men. This world was made for all men, I say. God saved this world for all men, all people, all babies, all children, all colors, and all races. This world for you and me, this world, my world, your world, everybody's world, this world, their world, and our world. This world was made for all men. Hear me out. Who was the first man to set foot on the North Pole? Matthew Henson, a black man. Who was the first American to show the pilgrims at Plymouth the secrets of survival in the New World? Squanto, a red man. Who was the soldier of Company G who won high honors for his courage and heroism in World War I? Sinky, a yellow man. Who was the leader of United Farm Workers and helped farm workers maintain dignity and respect? Chavez, a brown man. Who was the founder of Blood Plasma and the director of Red Cross Blood Bank? Dr. Charles Drew, a black man. Who was the first American heroine who aided the Lewis and Clark expedition? Saskatchewan, a red woman. Who was the famous educator and semantics who made outstanding contributions to education in America? A yellow man. Who invented the world's first stoplight in the gas mask? Garrett Morgan, a black man. Who was the American surgeon who was one of the founders of neurosurgery? Harvey Williams, a white man. Who was the man who helped design the nation's capital, made the first clock to give time in America? Was Benjamin Banneker, a black man. Who was the legendary hero who helped establish the League of Iraqis? Hawatha, a red man. Who was the leader of the first microbiologic center in America, Cushie A. Yellow Man, who was the founder of the city of Chicago in 1772, Jean Baptist, a black man, who was one of the organizers of the American Indian movement, Dennis Banks, a red man, who was the Jewish financier who raised funds to sponsor Christopher Columbus' voyage to America, Louis D., a white man, who was the woman who led countless slaves to freedom on the Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman, a black woman. I tell you today that this world was made for all men. And in my conclusion, I will conclude by saying, as Martin Luther King said, we're looking forward to that day when all of God's children, black men, white men, Jews, Protestants, and Gentiles, would be able to join hands and sing along with the words of that old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we're free at last.